Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. And this is the playoffs, and this is the fourth round. This is it. We're at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You want to talk about the nickname Hot Atlanta? This is certainly going to be an exciting race, I believe, tonight because for 4 drivers, they are eliminated. 8 drivers will go on and race in the next round for a championship. However, it all comes down to tonight at virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway. We welcome you to coverage on LSRTV and simulcast on the Community Radio Network for audio coverage of the Tom Denchel Automotive 200. Good evening. I am Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Samuel Dyer. And Samuel, bud, what can we say about this race tonight? I think this is going to be everything it's lived up to be. Last opportunity to make it in the playoffs for some. You're just going to let everything's got to fall into play for some of these guys, but I think it's going to be a battle to decide who will be the final 8.
You know, we look spiffy right now, Wesley, but we got to make mistakes at some point, I guess. Tonight, it is going to be a blast to watch. Drivers are looking like they're going to be fast here tonight, but slipping and sliding for sure, and the pressure's on, especially for the drivers that are in must-win territory, like a Steven Paulison. Tonight is your night. If you do not win tonight, you're out of the playoffs, and you've got 3 other drivers that are trying to point their way in. The pressure's on. If you slip up, you're out.
And the question is, Samuel, what drivers are really going to take it to the limit? What drivers will do any and everything they can here to try to survive to go on to the next round? And then you got a lot of drivers that are right there on the cusp of making that cutoff, advancing, but they need to have a good finish. If they can't get it by a win, they've got to have a good points race just like they've done the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the points, the drivers that are at that cut line, you got Ryan Bloom, who's 8th on points. He is that bubble driver that we're going to be focusing on all night long. And then you've also got to be thinking of BJ Tidgerick, Jeff Stabnow, and Tyler King. Those are the 3 drivers that could potentially point their way in. But you think of Jeff Stabnow and Tyler King. Those are 2 drivers that have ran consistent, but these last, 2-3 weeks, they have not shown the best finishes that they could have. But tonight, they need to have top 3, if not a win, to have the most points and hope for some of those other drivers that are in the top 8 to slip up.
Samuel, the Northwest ARCA Series was in action. We'll get our picks here in just a moment, but the Northwest ARCA Series was in action here at Atlanta on Friday night. We both called that race. It went caution-free. Sean Brightsman dominated it. Do you think we could see the same thing here tonight? I highly doubt it because the Cup guys and the Cup cars are totally different than the ARCA setup.
Yeah, the throttle control is a lot more in the Cup cars. You got to make sure you are perfect when you're getting back onto the throttle, because if you get on the throttle too soon, that rear end is just going to slide around, and on cold tires to start this race off, it is going to be extremely difficult. But we've seen that pattern of the ARCA cars being able to go clean and green throughout a whole entire race, and then we get to the Cup side, and we see anywhere from 3 to 5 cautions during that race. And I'm kind of expecting that same trend to continue, where the drivers here, the tensions are high. We got a lot more aggressive driving that comes from the Cup side, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see anywhere from 3 to 5 cautions.
All right, Samuel, who you riding with? What's your pick down on the bottom, brother?
I'm going to be going with Lake Peterson originally, but looking at the list, I don't see Lake anywhere. So I'm going to make an audible switch. I'm actually going to be switching it to Dan West Jr. That is who I'm going to go with. I'm going to switch it up. Dan was my second pick. We didn't have time to switch it, but I feel like Dan West Jr., he's shown pace here in the Cup cars last season. He's shown that he can win at the mile-and-a-half courses. And with Lake Peterson not here, I think Dan West Jr. has got to be the next favorite driver.
Well, since Lake Peterson's not here and my pick was already unveiled because that was my pick as well, right down at the bottom, it is Dan West Jr. I called it right before 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon. Dan West Jr. out of Shelton, Washington. I think he's got the car. He's talented here. He's done well here. I know he finished runner-up to Lake Peterson in the race earlier in the year when he won Daytona's opener. He's also had success on other races along the way. You think about Richmond when he swept those, what the West family's done at Atlanta in years past. So my pick is Dan West Jr. So I think that Samuel is jumping on the bandwagon, if you will, of trying to get back on that winning streak because Samuel, the last 4 out of the 5 picks, if I've got them right. So we'll see what happens, and I'll share your pick win tonight if it happens. So hey, what do you think of these new swag we got on, brother? Look at you.
Hey, we're trying to look more spiffy. We got the LSRTV t-shirts. Wesley, you showed off the blue one that we have on Friday, and both of us, you got the black one on, I got the red one on. We're glad to be repping LSRTV, having a uniform for us in the booth as well, as we love covering LSRTV.
I am back in black, and you are man in red. Hey, when
I guess
we
I was
come
outside
back,
just
and
a
by
little
the
bit too
way,
much.
exactly, thank you. Well, you know the song Lady in Red, so I'm just going to say the man in red, back in black. Okay, so when we come back, by the way, we do want to thank Lands End for providing our uniforms, our new shirts for your home for sim racing. Greg Ranson able to be with us tonight. He just got done announcing a big weekend of racing at Tri-City Raceway. I know his voice is about hoarse, as bad as Jeremy Anders was. I checked in with him earlier on social media. So, hey, we got a big race tonight. It's the playoffs. It's the final race in the round of 12. Moves going to the round of 8. We're going to find out at night's end. But anyhow, when we come back after a word from Tom Denschel Automotive Group, we will take a look at your sawblade.com weather conditions, your Race on Texas 411, and that Team 126 starting lineup to set the field of what should be a wild 250 miles here tonight at the here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll be right back with more in a moment on LSRTV, CRN Sports coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series playoffs from Tom Denschel Automotive Group. But now a word from our sponsor.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, we're back here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Yeah, I said Texas before the break. And Texas, Atlanta, Charlotte, they mimic one another, Samuel. They have their own characteristics, but they also have the same similarities. And this should be a fun race here tonight. There you see the iRacing safety crew officials just kind of standing around saying, hey, what's the track going to be like today? It's a daytime race. The track's going to be hot. The pavement's going to be hot. Speaking of that, let's take a look at your LSRTV race analysis for tonight. It is 30-minute practice done. Qualifying is done. And in about 3 minutes, they are gridding for 250 miles, 140 laps. Actually, my apologies. That's hashtag fake news. 140 laps is actually 200 miles, which is the equivalent, Samuel, of a 200-miler NASCAR Camping World Truck Series event here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So, with that said, that's where they'll be going. We're looking now at your weather conditions is what I was trying to say. Thanks to sawblade.com. No, it's LSRTV as well. It's 86 degrees. And you saw what the crew people were talking about down on the safety crews virtually, Samuel, and that is the track temp. Sunny skies. I know it's partly cloudy, but it's sunny right now, bearing down on this virtual 1.5 miles at Atlanta. And the wind speed is 8. Kind of comfortable, but I'm concerned about the track temp, and I believe, Mr. D, that is going to be such an effect on the tires for the outcome of this race. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, those crew members are obviously thinking, should we just grab an egg and a spatula with how hot it is and just make lunch? Because it is going to be hot. The tires are going to be baking as well. And honestly, tonight, it is going to be all about tires. When do you want to come in, get your new set of tires? They're going to be having 3 sets in pit road to work with here tonight for 140 laps. A lot of the drivers going to be trying to turn this race into a 2-stop, so they have an extra set just in case in those final 20 laps if a late caution comes out. But it is going to be a lot about on timing. When do you want to be aggressive? Do you want to be fast in those first 10 laps, or do you want to be fast in those final 30? That is when these drivers are going to pick and choose here early on.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch. I really believe that. We'll keep an eye on that and watch it. Look at the point standings here presented by RaceOnTexas.com, and there is the point standings. And look at your top 4 Suffice to say, Samuel, I would say maybe the top 5 are okay. Everyone else behind them, they're in a must-win. They've got to do something good. But, well, I will say this. Tidrick, King, Paulison, if they could have good runs, they could pop up out of nowhere and they could win the race and advance into one of those 8 spots. It's all about winning. If you win, you automatically transfer. And that's why guys like, of course, Caden Anderson and Lake Peterson, Sean Brightsman, they've already done that.
Yeah, that's the key, is a lot of the guys that are inside the top 6 have already been consistent enough to be up front. For, BJ Tidrick, Jeff Stabnow, and Tyler King, this is going to be a very much of a struggle for themselves, because all 3 of those drivers need to have solid runs, and they need the drivers ahead of them to have off days here, as well as Stephen Paulson, a must-win scenario for that team that's missed out the last couple of weeks. So, Wesley, we're going to be seeing a lot of different scenarios popping up throughout tonight. We'll try to keep everyone up to date. We got a pretty decent field for tonight's race.
Yeah, there's quite a field of cars here that are ready to go, man. I'm telling you, there's around 25 machines ready to go. The field is gridded, and we are getting ready to get them ready. All right, safety guys, get in your trucks. It's time to go to work, and it's time to give you the Team 126 Racing starting lineup here in Atlanta for the Tom Denchel 200. Hey, it's our pick. Your pick, my pick first. Dan West Jr., he's on the pole in the 55 to the outside. Ryan Bloom in the 25, row number 1 here in Atlanta. Row 2, Chris White, top of the points board. He looks comfortable moving in. Caden Anderson, he's going on to the next round of 8 as well. Row 2. Round 3. Row 3 will find Cole Raz. All he wants to do is win. Well, sounds like lyrics to a song, but that's what happens when the 10 shows up. Sean Brightsman, defending series champion, ready to go in the 46. Row 4 on the grid. We'll find Stephen O'Hare, Talladega winner that put himself in the playoffs. Now it's crunch time to remain. And Kevin Smith, also one of the drivers, trying to advance. Row number 5, we'll find Casey Garber, the 94, John Ottenbacher, and the number 89, your top 10 here in Atlanta.
Drop into row number 6. You find the drivers are outside looking in. Stephen Paulson in a must-win scenario. Tyler King needs to have a solid points day for the 21, but he's right outside. Might need a must-win as well. We drop back to row number 7, and we find that of Matt Gelder as well as that of Gary Nichols. 2 drivers that are not in the playoffs, but here to help field and could give great points. The drivers looking out and trying to get into our top 8. Toby Ritters as well as Russ Lombard going to be in our row number 8. 2 drivers again outside of the points, but they're still here for a good time. Eric Chaney and Jeff Stabnow going to be in row number 9. Jeff Stabnow going to be coming in 10th in points. He's 5 points out, needing a solid run. James Thurston as well as BJ Tidrick going to be in row number 10.
And the rest of the field, as the field does roll, row 11 in the grid. We'll find the 51 of Troy Daggett, Scott Hutchinson to the outside in row 11. Row 12 will find Mr. Bug Eyes, Aaron Cooper, the 71 to the outside, Big Daddy, Frank Harrison, the 11. And row number 12, final starter, Judd Wakefield. He broke his hand a couple of weeks ago. He still has that one arm injury, and he'll be one-handing it here tonight around Atlanta Motor Speedway. Preliminary laps are about to be completed. The field will be ready to come to the restart zone and take the green flag for the official start of the Tom Denchel 200. Samuel, your final thoughts as we get ready to come to green in the start.
I love the fact that Ryan Bloom is up front for the 25. He's got to make sure to keep these tires good for a full stint. That is going to be my big focus, is how well does Ryan Bloom do for these first couple of laps.
8 plus 4 is 12. Minus 4 is 8. 8 drivers, if you do the math, will advance here tonight at Atlanta in the playoffs for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. Here they come to the starting box. Green flag in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race as 25 kaleidoscope of colors roar to turn 1. The Tom Denchel 200 is green at Atlanta.
Drivers keeping themselves in line up front. It's Dan West Jr. And you see on our ticker, we added more colors as it's going to be a lot of moving and up and down. The drivers that are in orange, they're outside looking in. The driver that is in red, Stephen Paulson, a must-win scenario. Everyone else in blue and green, they're looking good.
I know it looks like a rainbow. Taste the rainbow like Skittles. But it's the rainbow of the grid, the legend, if you will. Green advanced. In the blue is in the playoffs. Could point into the top 8 is the orange. The red is a must-win to advance. The ones that are in black are just racing for a W. Ryan Bloom, Chris White, they battle for second as Anderson looks on as they roar into turn 3.
I'm liking the fact that Ryan Bloom is not pressuring to keep that second place position. This is the best thing for the 25. If you've got a driver behind you that wants to get aggressive early, let them go. You're going to catch them in about 10 to 15 laps when those tires switch. When the guys that are being aggressive try to put down the fastest laps currently, they're going to lose that speed later on, and you'll slowly catch back up to them. But it is a hornet's nest right now, third on back.
This race is underway in the early going. Remember, it is lap number 3 of 140. West, White, Bloom, Anderson, O'Hare. Your top 5. Here they come across the line. There goes the Brightsman machine battling the 94 of Casey Garber. You know, when Garber's here, Samuel, he does fairly well. And, of course, Sean Brightsman also coming off of that ARCA win on Friday night here, caution-free in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think back to earlier in the season, race number 3 when we were back at Atlanta to start out the year. Casey Garber was a very quick car that really had a shot for a good top 5 finish, and I'm expecting a very similar thing here tonight. That 94 going to be pressuring, and because you've got Cole Raz and Casey Garber drivers that are not in our playoff 12, they can really switch things up. They can bump some drivers into the final 8 or outside of our 8 just by changing one position of the playoff drivers. So, you know, yes, you're out here. Yes, you're not running for playoffs, but a win, you know, it's in the minds of the 94 and the 10.
Underway as the field works their way in the opening 5 laps now. And the new leader on the inside is Dan West Jr. under attack. Here comes the points man, number 1. Chris White racing forward, battling Dan West Jr. Chevrolet. Chris White to the lead. You know he's already going to the round of 8. He's just looking for a win, but this 200-miler is still a long way to go as Dan West Jr. wants to power back on the inside.
Dan West is trying his best, but you're just seeing the 83 just pulling away. Chris White, you just think of how he won at Indianapolis, had older tires, defended his way to get a win. That's why he's in green. He won at Indy. He's locked in going to the next round. All he's doing now is just hoping to get a win so no one else behind him can lock themselves in.
Still a long way to go as we watch these drivers working their way back around the racetrack. As you just mentioned, the guys that are locked in, that are in green, Samuel, White, and Anderson, whatever happens tonight, they know they're going to the next round. But here's the thing about Chris White. He wins, he accumulates more points. He goes into a stranglehold over the rest of the field in the points battle, if you will, moving in to the next race in the round of 8. Is that smart, though, Samuel? Because the points reset. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's all about momentum for this 83 team. Just trying to carry the momentum moving forward each and every week. And for Chris White, he wants to reset. I mean, Iowa was certainly a race that a lot of drivers had in their minds that they felt like they could win. For Chris White, though, Cummins back to a mile and a half. This is where Chris White's gotten a win before. He won back at Charlotte earlier in the season. This 83 knows how to get into victory lane, but gotta watch out for drivers behind him as Caden Anderson, one of the drivers that has been on such a hot streak, almost came around and beat Chris White at Indy, but after a little bit of a bumping with 4 laps to go, Caden Anderson fell back to 4th at Indy, won last week at Iowa, and swept both the Cup and the trucks. That's 37. Talk about momentum. He's on the highest of them.
Cross the start-finish line. Here they come. West back to the lead on the inside of Christopher White. The West and White show battles going on. 10 laps in, next time by in the early going. 130 laps remain. The Tom Denchel Automotive 200. In this race in the final round of 12. We'll take a week off next week, and then we come back to some more unique racetracks, and we got a caution on the Speedway, single car, couple of cars maybe. Looks like Frank Harris might have got collected in it, and the 129 also involved, and it started with the driver of the 129, and that is Russ Lundberg. Possibly Thurston involved as well. No, James Thurston unable to start. Frank Harris and Aaron Cooper might have also got caught up in this. We're under caution, Samuel, for the first time at Hot Atlanta on lap number 10.
Yeah, we're seeing the replay now. Your Pulse Poppers instant replay, and you just see the 126 getting loose, coming down, and Frank Harris nowhere to go for the 11. Extreme contact into the wall, and you see Russ locking it down. Luckily, no one else involved, but there were some close drivers there that almost came in late.
Frank Harris into Lundberg, multi-car accident, 2 cars, and we go under yellow. 11 laps in, fake to the pits by Dan West Jr. And who else will come in? Any more takers? As it looks like everybody will stay out except for Tyler King, Troy Daggett, Eric Cheney, BJ Tidrick, Frank Harris. They're in the pits. But boy, what a sight job on Dan West Jr., the 55. And here's the thing, Samuel, and I believe this. The leader sets that toward pace to come to the pits. If he pitted, there might have been a lot of other drivers in the top 5 that would have probably came down, top 10 for that matter. But when he done the fake and stayed out, everyone did the bonsai and stayed right behind him.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is right now it's one of those risky calls. You're 12 laps in, and for Dan West Jr. and for Chris White, it's a risky move to lose and you give up that track position. It is so important to be up front. And yes, there's going to be a toss-up of do you want to have fresh tires or not? And looks like the drivers that came into pit road got word, only came in for fuel, so no one's used a set of tires. Everyone's still in the same set. But I'd be concerned for Dan West Jr. and Chris White because they took off so quick early in those first 10 laps that I got to be wondering if Ryan Bloom, Caden Anderson, Cole Raz, maybe they were saving a little bit of something just in case this type of a scenario happened. I think with the 25 and 37 and the 10, they might be favorites to move forward and maybe be able to make a pass for the lead.
So they'll work their way across the start-finish line under caution, first yellow of the race. Looks like the lights will go off on the pace car. And the 1-to-go indication has been given. Dan West Jr., Chris White, right there on row number 1. And honestly, Samuel, Dan West Jr., he needs to win this race. It's a must-win for him. He's one of those guys that are in the top 10 of the points. He's good enough where he could probably advance into the round of 8 by points. But if you can solidify it and get it with a win, that just makes it so much easier for 55.
Yeah, Dan West Jr. coming into tonight's race, only having 6 points buffer over BJ Tedrick, who came in 9th in points, just outside of our top 8. So, yes, there's a 9-point buffer for the 55, but I think with the enlarged group of drivers that showed up here tonight, 24 hitting the track, you never knew if some drastic or dramatic issue happens for the 55. BJ Tedrick's right there that could capitalize as these drivers get ready to go green.
The field will make their way back to the Geico restart zone as the pace car will drop back onto the pit lane. Just like the original start with White, Dan West Jr. right there. Here we go, green flag, Ryan Bloom behind him, Caden Anderson. And we're back to it again with Dan West Jr. pulling away on the restart. Getting everybody, holding them off at bay as they work their way back around. You see the blues, the greens, the blacks, the orange, the reds. They're all on that legend for a purpose of the scoring ticker. And Ryan Bloom now trying to come after Chris White. Anderson up on the outside.
I mean, looking at the 46, our ARCA winner, Sean Breisman, he's also coming with a head of steam. And these are the drivers that were laying back, being patient, letting the race come to them. Instead of burning off those tires and forcing their cars to put down the fastest laps, they waited to have that long run speed. Watch out for Sean Breisman. Oh, no!
Oh, trouble. Ryan Bloom turns. Sean Breisman around. Everyone else is involved. Jeff Stab now gets a piece of it. 2, 3 cars collected down the back straightaway as the caution will come out for the second time here at Atlanta.
Oh,
wow.
No, your Pulse Poppers, it's their replay. The aggression was building up. You knew that Sean Breisman was going to have a lot of speed on the outside. Just not enough space for both drivers to be, and both looking for the same real estate.
Hey, Hey, we've got the blimp back again. Aerial coverage on the presented by All American Pools. Look at this. Watch this. Oh, man. Brightsman just into the 25. Just cut off the air, if you will, the bump draft. 46 into the 25. Sean Brightsman. Ryan Bloom. Looked like Jeff Stabnow got a piece of it as well. And that's why we're under caution. Samuel, second time.
Yeah, and I think this go around we might be seeing maybe some drivers trying to tempt pit road that were further back in the field, but drivers that were involved in that incident coming into pit road. And there were over 4 drivers that are in the points involved with that incident. Yeah, Sean Bridesman, Jeff Stabnow, Ryan Bloom, Stephen O'Hare, all getting damage from that incident. These drivers do have one fast repair, so if you get any type of scrape, you blow your engine, you've got one more safety net where you can come in, completely reset your car, and then you can get back out there and attack. But you might be seeing a lot of drivers already having to use their fast repair in just the first 17 laps of this race.
17 laps in of 140 in this 200-mile round of 12 finale. Who will advance to the round of 8? Dan West Jr., Chris White, Caden Anderson, Cole Raz, Stephen Paulison. Currently your top 5. We'll be back with more from Atlanta and the Tom Denchel 200 in a moment.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Still under yellow flag here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The one to go indication has just been given to the field. Lights are off for the pace car. We welcome you back to coverage on your home for sim racing. Working our second caution of the Tom Denchel Automotive 200. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland here with you. Hope you're enjoying this broadcast from LSR TV, CRN Sports, and Rocket Media. Dan West Jr. and Chris White so far the top front row, the top contenders in this opening 20 laps. Samuel, anybody in the back you want to keep an eye on? Obviously, we were saying keep an eye on Sean Brightsman. That's all changed now when he got caught up in that accident with Ryan Bloom and Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, right now, that 8th place position, it is wide open. Ryan Bloom, 2 laps down. And now for Jeff Stabnow, BJ Tidrick, Tyler King, they have a complete opening. If they have a solid day today and there's no more cautions that allow Ryan Bloom to get back on the lead lap, that 8th position is wide open for everyone else.
Got to advance your positions as best as you can. Obviously, the guys in red are trying to win. As we come back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag going back in the air here at Atlanta. Big start. Big start. I'm sorry, the guys in orange is what I meant to say. are needing a win. But the guy in red, like Paulison, if he wins, he does win the race. He advances to the next round. So we're back underway. Keep an eye on that legend. It'll go tit for tat, back and forth all day long here at Atlanta right now on lap number 20. Complete this time by Dan West Jr. A must win. He's in the playoffs, but a win will solidify that to go from blue to green to go to the round of 8. He is leading. Chris White second, winner again back at Indianapolis. There you go with some Anderson, who won obviously the race at Iowa last week. He swept Iowa, if you remember, Samuel. He's now in the top 5. Audenbacher, good run for Audenbacher as well.
Yeah, Audenbacher doing a great job in 5th place, up 5 positions for himself. And just watching what's happening in front of him. I mean, I think right now the best decision for Audenbacher is to watch Cole Raz in the 10 and the 37, Katie Anderson, because both those drivers are just plain patient. If anything, they're ready to pounce, be aggressive, and go after our front 2. As Dan West Jr. and Chris White, luckily they've had some pacing and caution laps to try to cool off their tires and try to rebound from the aggressive start that they had. But Cole Raz and Kate Anderson almost bump drafting and helping one another to move up to 2nd and 3rd.
Back across turn number 2. Back straightaway now, back to the front straightaway now. Here they come. 3 wide. In the middle is Cole Raz. Anderson right there with him. They were teammates 1 and 2 in the finish for the trucks at Iowa on Wednesday night. There you see the number 8 machine. There's Nichols' car. Tidrick right there with him. Toby Ritter's off the pace. It looks like he lost a couple of spots. He'll fall back to 17th, Samuel, if you will, as they work by Brightsman on the outside out of turn number 4.
And you see Brightsman completely torn up, has not used his fast repair. There's about 4 or 5 drivers that have already used their fast repair. Aaron Cooper, Stephen O'Hare, as well as Tyler King. 3 of those drivers have already used their fast repair. Sean Brightsman trying not to utilize his fast repair right now, but as you can see on our ticker, last driver on the lead lap. And he's the first car lap down, and he's trying his best just to stay out there, not go any more laps down. And just in case another caution comes out, he'll get that lucky dog position.
Back across the start-finish line, there you see Garber's car. Never count out Garber. Eric Cheney up in front of him. Tyler King on the bottom. Ryan Bloom, who got caught up in an accident earlier, starting to climb back, if you will, into the top 20. All these cars, Stabnow, Harris, Brightsman, Bloom, all in that pack of traffic, if you will, Samuel, trying to go nowhere but back to the front, and they have to. The clock is ticking with almost 15 laps to go.
Yeah, Tyler King, if anything, this 21 is now in a complete uphill climb. He's free climbing at this point. No help, no longer has a fast repair. As you see, drivers getting out of sorts in front of him. Got to be careful with everyone up there. It looked like BJ Tidrick getting a little bit out of sorts for the 72, but still running forward. But I got to say, for Tyler King, he has now kind of moved into a must-win scenario. Came into this race 16 points out of the good, moving into our top 8. There's still a lot of hungry drivers that are in front of him, such as BJ Tidrick, that Tyler King needs to make sure he's ahead of by over 11 points. So that's 11 positions on top of the other 6 that he needs to be in front of that of Ryan Bloom. So a lot needs to happen for Tyler King. As well, a lot needs to happen for BJ Tidrick.
There goes that 51 machine. That's Troy Daggett down on the bottom of the racetrack. He's in the top 10. Good run for him, trying to run down that 8 machine of Nichols, Gary Nichols, if you will. He finally clears it. Goes after now the Catman and James Vining. As that goes on, that's correction. That's Gelder, actually. My apologies. Gelder's car. Daggett, Gelder, Smith, all in that group as they work their way. The 0-2, Gelder. Toyota coming off turn 4, back across the line. 28 laps completed now, working lap 29. Cole Raz is the new leader, by the way. He just got around Dan West Jr. in the 10 car. Easy peasy Japanesey off the back straightaway, Sammy D.
Yeah, this is one of the easiest passes for Cole Raz. He just had to be patient because of the first 12 laps being ran very hard for that of Dan West Jr. and also seeing Chris White be aggressive. They had over a 3-second lead over the rest of the field before that first caution came out, and all that time was lost, which means all that grip that they threw out the window is lost as well. As Cole Raz, Kate Anderson, they were one of the drivers that kind of let everyone else be aggressive and waited for their time to pounce. Cole Raz up 4 positions, and he's not a playoff driver, but coming into the playoffs said he's here just to win and win everything that he can.
Ready to do just that as we approach now lap number 30. 110 laps to go in this 200-mile contest of virtual man and machine to decide who will be going on to the playoffs in the round of 8 for the championship. And then they go another 4 rounds. That will then determine the round of 4. And the championship will be decided at Viva Las Vegas for the final race of the season. And I know in years past, Samuel, it's been mimicked to be at Homestead or be at Phoenix. But I like the change, and what better track it would be than Viva Las Vegas for the finale.
Yeah, Vegas, pretty similar to Atlanta, a little bit more of a faster, more draft-heavy course than Atlanta. Atlanta a lot more on the tires and how the drivers attack this course. But man, Las Vegas is going to be a fun one to watch because everyone's going to be figuring out how to help one another with the draft, as well as figuring out how to gamble and get aggressive as they can. But Wesley, looking at the field right now, I think the biggest surprise for me currently, Stephen Paulison's up in the top 7, and he's still with this lead group. He's just starting to battle now with Smith, but he's still up front, our lead group, all within a second and a half of one another.
Yes, sir. We'll keep an eye on them, man. I'm telling you, Kevin Smith is one of those guys you've got to keep an eye on. He has just done so well in the last couple of weeks. And another driver right behind him, Samuel, is Stephen Paulison, the Daytona winner. That's what got him in the playoffs. The first winner of the season, Stephen Paulison. I know it was crazy. Jack Daniels no longer on the car. He's an underfunded sponsor now. But that car looking strong tonight, Samuel, as he sits in the number 7 position. One of those drivers that are, actually he's the only driver in red with a must win. He has to win tonight to advance to the second round.
Yeah, I mean, for that of Stephen Paulison, certainly a driver that is a must win. And also for anyone that would like to join and be broadcast by LSRTV, one of the only streaming of iRacing in 4K Ultra HD. Message us on livesimracingtv.com. Get a quote. Love to broadcast your races here on LSRTV. And Wesley, it's been a pleasure to be a part of the only broadcast team on iRacing to be in 4K.
Yeah, 4K Ultra HD, man. When you blow it up on your big screen television and you go back and I watch the replays or I send a text or a link to my friends and invite them to take a watch, they go and they're like, man, this is just like the real thing. Like watching races on television. And that's just the quality and the awesome work that everybody at Rocket Media and Live Sim Racing have provided. Also, a lot of people talk about how crystal clear the audio coverage is on the community radio network. I had one guy text me the other week ago, Samuel, and they said, that race you called, was that a real race? Or was that yeah, it was iRacing. Well, man, it sounded like the real thing. So it's just, we want to be the best. We want to put out the best. And we got a caution now. Caution out for the 3rd time. Talk about a segue. Yellow flag as it looks like Gelder might have got collected in it. And possibly Aaron Cooper. Pulse Poppers, Fish and Lure instant replay for caution number 3. As it's after midnight Eastern time and we get ready for Taco Tuesday tomorrow, Sammy D.
Oh, cannot wait for tacos. It is going to be great to have some, but Looks like the incident it's already happened. Sean Brightsman not slowing down, and
oh my goodness.
No.
Wakefield checked up in front of everybody, it looks like. Wakefield in the 50 car. Let's keep an eye on the vape hub number 50. There's Eric Cheney up behind him. Where did it all go wrong?
Coming out of turn number 4. Out of turn 4, we see the 50. Yeah, we're going to see
Was
here.
Was that Cheney bumping the 50? No.
Oh,
no,
he's up
Wakefield
at the wall.
Just
He
got
lost
high.
himself, and they got finished.
Cheney got into the 50.
Oh,
and then, well, whatever happened here, I'm not sure. Somebody got hit in the rear.
Well, that's the contact. Yeah, that was the contact of Aaron Cooper and Sean Bridesman. And
right.
Aaron Cooper, one of the drivers that had already used a fast repair. For Bridesman, he had not. So that might be the contact that officially puts him in, as most of the field into pit road.
Samuel, I'm thinking with 100 laps to go, or they're going to come down to the pit lane, and they are doing just that, as it looks like Kevin Smith 00 overshoots his pit stall, overshoots reverse, overshoots going forward a second time, a third time, a fourth time. Cole Raz off the pit lane, Dan West Jr. off of pit road. And the race off pit lane will go to the number 10 of Cole Raz. But I think about Kevin Smith. Samuel, you can't make those mistakes on pit lane, especially in a playoff race. Oh, no.
Yeah, for Kevin Smith, the big issue, he was too close to the pit wall. He kept on trying to shimmy his way further away from the wall, but you can't just make small movements. You got to fully back up and then whip yourself around, and it just went from bad to worse. Kevin Smith went from, in our top 7, was 6 when that caution came out. He is all the way back in 18th.
Caution out again. Here comes some more cars coming out of the pit lane. Troy Daggett, Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow, Lundberg, Russ Lundberg. Cars that are a couple of laps down or more.
And Wesley, because Sean Brightsman was involved in that incident, the lucky dog actually went to Ryan Bloom, who was 2 laps down. The 25 going to be moving up, and going to be a collection of drivers that are 1 lap down now.
So the caution coming out after another multi-car accident on the speedway. We'll work on getting everybody back in place again. Cole Raz will now cycle back as the leader. Dan West Jr. second. John Ottenbacher third. Put Caden Anderson in the 4th position along with Chris White in the top 5. That's the way they roll. With 40 laps completed this time by when they come to the scoring loop. And Samuel will have 100 laps to go.
100 laps to go, and most of the field now using their first of 3 sets of tires in pit road. So for 100 laps, you got to debate, when do you want to use your next set? Do you split it 50-50? Do you think about cutting it to 30-60 and then finish this thing out? There's a lot of questions on how you want to use your set of tires here. And also, it kind of matters on the cautions. If the cautions continue on the way that they have, you got to really, you got to roll the dice and figure out when is the best time. And I don't think anyone's going to have the right answer until that last lap.
Couple of more laps under the yellow flag as they work on, actually the lights are off of the pace car. We'll actually get ready to come back for the restart. As Cole Raz, runner-up the other night in the trucks at Iowa. Cole Raz has won a couple of Northwest Cup and Truck Series events. And still a long way to go. The field on the back straightaway, 41 laps. It'll be 41 completed. Working lap number 42, 99 laps to go. And should I also say we're about 29 laps to halfway. Lap 70 will be halfway here. And we're ready to see this field come back to the restart. Here they come in Atlanta. It's getting hot, Atlanta. Here's the pace car, drops onto the pit lane. It's Raz and West. Ottenbacher, Anderson, White, And the rest of the field coming after him. Green flag back in the air. Ready for the restart. Cole Raz jumping out in front of everybody down into turn number 1.
And with everyone coming into pit road, everyone's back on equal footing as Gilder gets out of shape there.
No harm, no foul. Maybe a couple of positions lost for the driver of Matt Gelder in the 42. Went below the apron, got up high, went to the bottom, fishtailed the car, came back on course, and still no harm, no foul. Audenbacher, White, Garber. There you see that 3-car battle, Munch and front battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th down the back straightaway, Samuel, as they go to turn number 3.
Yeah, and right now you could just sense the 83 of Chris White wants to get aggressive as we hop on board with the 83 of Chris White on your right camera, the battle cam of what's going on outside. And Wesley, it just looks like Chris White, because there's fresh tires, he wants to utilize them immediately, and he doesn't know where to go to get by the 89 of John Audenbacher.
Helmet cam, if you will, on board with Christopher White. There you see the battle cam with the car in the left. Helmet cam right side. Watching him reel in like bait on a pulse pomper fishing lure hook of John Audenbacher, the green car. Everyone else nestled nose to tail. Back off of 2, back straight away. Go ahead, Darrell.
I mean, right now, everyone's playing nice. I think everyone's recognizing in that first run, everyone was so aggressive, trying to make as many big moves and passes early on. And now with getting a set of tires, it seems like Chris White's the only driver that wants to get aggressive and make passes as well for the lead, possibly on the outside. It's Stanwich Jr.
It is a cliche that is honest truth. To win the race, you must first finish. Virtual reality, it doesn't matter. And that's exactly what they're doing coming off of turn number 4. Oh, down to the straightaway. Got one off the wall there for a moment. Garber and Audenbacher about got together.
I don't know if Audenbacher realized how close he was to Casey Garber, but Garber, yeah, almost getting absolutely shoved into the outside wall on the exit of 4. But the battle for 3rd still side by side. It's Chris White, he is on the move. I think for Chris White, his goal, catch up to Dan West Jr. and let them just pull away from the rest of the field.
Working their way back off of turn number 2. Up the outside, here comes Christopher White. White and Anderson. Samuel, why are they racing so hard? As Frank Harris bounces off the wall. Couple of cars tangled in the back. Spinning is Daggett in 51. Caution, not out. Not out. We're still green. He's down below the apron. It happened when Frank Harris bounced off the wall in the Ford number 11, and this will not draw a caution, Samuel.
Because the wreck happened underneath as we take a Pulse Poppers instant replay of the incident on hand, but a lot of this happened because of trying to get aggressive. Harris on the outside, you're going to see him bounce off the wall, and poor Troy Tackett nowhere to go, and it was with Smith.
Look at that. And we got to check on Frank Harris's car. There you see the 11. And also the number 51 of Troy Daggett's machine. As they keep on going, take a lick and keep on ticking. Badly damaged for Daggett's car. Hey, by the way, coming in January is the new Series League on LSRTV, the Trans Service Cup Series. It's all part of the Sim 500 Racing League. And by the way, another deal has been inked of also covering the 10-week Winter Series. That'll be coming before the February launch of the Trans-Surface Cup Series. Joey Katina has been a longtime friend of mine in NASCAR and ARCA. He has for many years, Samuel, created this monster that is the Sim 500 iRacing League, and we're looking forward to it in 2022. Your home for sim racing, LSRTV, and coming up at the end of October of this year, the Winter Series.
Yeah, end of October, beginning of November. Excited for the Winter Series to start up. And just more excited for 2022. So much great action that we are getting prepared for here on LSR TV as we continue to watch the great battling on screen. This is the battle for 5th place, as you've got that of Ottenbacher, Casey Garber, non-playoff drivers, and then behind them at the 58, Steven Paulson, a must-win driver, just feeling trapped currently.
There's O'Hare, the 41. Battling along must-win driver Steven Paulson in 58. Stefan O'Hare, Stab now off the pace. Bottom of the racetrack. Stab now 1 lap down. If the caution was to come out, he would get the free pass to come back on the lead lap. Everyone else, multiple laps down, can take a wave around if they choose to, Samuel. But if they do that, they got to be in front of the leaders, and they cannot pit.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is they're going to need help. They need a caution to come out, and right now I think this might be the best place to get it, with Ottenbacher, Casey Garber, O'Hare, as well as Paulson side by side. The longer they stay like this, the better shot there is of contact being made, as right now Ottenbacher trying that inside lane, and he's getting a great run through the center of the corner, but it's out of the corner where Casey Garber really can just launch and keep this battle still side by side on the front stretch.
.55, and that's the car trying to battle for the lead on that lap. Inside of White, and lap traffic in the way of the leaders any moment now, Sammy D, as they work to turn number 3. You see them right there creeping in their view.
Yeah, the lap traffic currently, they are extremely off pace. That is, that's going to be the big thing. I think lap cars are recognizing, hey, we're so off the pace, we're not going to be an issue for these lead lap drivers to get by, but right now I would be concerned for that of Dan West Jr. and Chris White. Cole Raz, Kid Anderson, they have been just waiting and looming, not really pressuring their cars, and they're still keeping it close. Within a half a second, he's 4th to the leader.
Let's give you your full field rundown as we work 55 laps completed, now lap 56 of the Tom Dinchel Automotive 200. Dan West Jr. is leading. Chris White is 2nd. Cole Raz is 3rd. Caden Anderson 4th. John Ottenbacher the top 5. Steven Paulson is in 6th. A must-win for him in red. Casey Garber is 7th. Stefan O'Hare 8th. Tyler King 9th. And Toby Ritter's another solid top 10 in the 23.
That's going to finish out your 2 small packs that's building up. Pack number 3 going to be with Matt Gelder. Gary Nichols going to be in 13th. Kevin Smith trying to rebound from the incident that he was a part of. Going to be back in 14th. 15th, we find Frank Harris. Eric Chaney in 16th. Jeff Stabnow doing his best in 17th currently. But first car a lap down to 24. A lot of work for himself. Sean Breitzman also going to be a lap down for the 46. Heavily damaged. And it is just chaos back here for the drivers that are inside of the top 20 and trying to keep themselves at least a little racy for currently.
Yeah, that includes drivers like Troy Daggett, Russ Lundberg, Aaron Cooper, Scott Hutchinson, one driver unable to take the green flag, and of course, that was James Thurston in car number 2. Working this way in about 10 more laps to halfway, we'll have your on-air mid-race report here presented by Tom Dinchel Automotive Group. And Samuel and I will give our thoughts on the race. Right now, our pick was my pick first. Dan West Jr. is leading in 55. What's it, fake news? No, he did not. He picked Lake Peterson, remember?
I sent my pick in. I said Lake Peterson if he shows up. If he doesn't, I'm going with Dan West Jr. And so
I got you.
I sent that at like the
But you know
in the
what, though?
morning.
Here's
but
the
you
thing,
know,
Samuel. Lake Peterson, he'll be back next week or in 2 weeks. Because remember, we are all taking a week off next week. But when we come back to kick off the round of 8, he will be back.
yeah, that first race, that was going to be a very interesting one. Going to Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway. That is one of the more unique courses. It's just a flat darling. Oh my goodness.
Whoa!
Gelder and
Smith.
Oh. Oh, they're still bumping
Wow.
off one another. That's not safe. And you got Sean Bryceman,
I don't
who's
think they're
already
in a
used his
good
fast
mood
repair.
right now. I think he might have ticked him off.
Oh,
And here
man.
comes Sean Breitzman.
And Bryceman's already used a fast repair, Wesley, so he cannot afford to be involved in someone else's mix-up. He's trying to make sure he gets the lucky dog.
Yeah, if I was Sean Breitzman, I would say get away from that chaos right now. You don't want to be where Smith and Gelder are fighting over like it's the last piece of chicken on the dinner table. Turkey on the dinner table, like Thanksgiving.
Right around the corner.
Or should I say the last piece of candy in the bucket because Halloween's coming.
Well, I mean, Thanksgiving works. I mean, we're 10 days away from Canadian Thanksgiving.
Hey, do you know we're 80 days away from Christmas?
Oh, don't say that, Chris. That means 2021's almost over. Where did the year go?
Happy ho 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 to you.
Yeah. I think you scared a lot of people,
Tyler
Wesley.
King. I'm sorry, it's the truth. It's not hashtag fake news. It's 80 days to Christmas. Where everybody's Instagram and Facebook crashed in the world today, Twitter was proudly working, and I saw a tweet that said, it's 80 days to Christmas.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing how the world...
Christmas shopping, okay?
Yes. People have been Christmas shopping since the day after Christmas.
Can you imagine the people that actually do that and they take people's gifts and they throw them in the closets or under their beds or in their pantries or garages and let them sit there and collect dust for a whole year?
I could never imagine doing that. I don't have presents in my closet that I've had for most of the year that's for my parents or anything.
Team Outlaw Motorsports says, and I quote, "I hate Christmas." And by the way, to Team Outlaw, to BJ Duvall, to Will Duvall, our thoughts and prayers are with my friend there, man. Sorry to hear about the passing of your father. Because of COVID, you're with our thoughts and prayers continuously. Hopefully you can find some type of a resolution and a comfort in knowing that he's no longer in this crazy world we're living in. And maybe you'll be reunited, and you will be reunited with him again if you believe in the afterlife. And, of course, my son had COVID. He's doing a lot better. Hopefully within the next week he can possibly go back to school. But, just praying for Will Duvall, definitely, as we are coming up here on halfway. And look at Anderson battling Garber King. They're all ganging up on trying to get to him. Chris White, all going on. And this is all amongst the pack with Dan West Jr. still leading as we are getting closer to halfway here at Atlanta, Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, Dan West Jr., he's surprising me currently because Kate Anderson says, you know what, Cole, you did what you could. I'm now going to be the lead car. It's my shot to go after Dan West Jr. Kate Anderson, he wants to continue getting wins. He doesn't want to see Dan West Jr. lock himself up in with the win, but put the pressure on to point his way into the final 8. And Kate, I got to say, though, for Kate Anderson, he is certainly, I mean, think of the pressure he was on with missing a race at the start of the playoffs, having to be in a must-win scenario, capitalizing last week at Iowa, and now he's got all the pressure he was dealing with these past couple of weeks, it's now all gone. It's all about being out here and having fun.
Couple of more laps away from halfway. We'll give you that battle. The second half has been interesting. We'll see what the final
third place, a little bit of
73
contact.
laps or so will be like. Yeah, look at this. Oh my goodness. White and Raz fighting for it. This is for second, Samuel, as they work their way. Third place, excuse me, as they work off of turn number 2.
Yeah, I mean, Chris White, he got a huge momentum out of his turn 2 last lap. Tried to make the pass on the inside. He might try it again. Looks like he'll set up for the next lap, but this 83 is trying to get aggressive, but a little bit of a door bang that could influence both drivers on their aero. The draft has been pretty important in these early stages of these runs, and right now, Chris White, Cole Raz, they are fighting each other. They are not giving up currently for this third place position.
West, Anderson, Raz, White, Audenbacher. Top 5, O'Hare. Paulison with a must-win in 7th. Garber in 8th. Ritter's 9th. Tidrick in 10th. By the way, Casey Garber did really, really well back in the Atlanta race in the spring. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, he actually won the race here at Atlanta with the trucks back in the spring. Right now, Samuel, he sits in that number 9 position. As we are getting ready for your Tom Denchel Automotive Group mid-race update report. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. I am Wesley Outland. Down below is Samuel Dyer, Sammy D in big red, back in black. And, of course, thanks to Lands End for providing our new apparel. All right, Samuel, halfway through this race, Dan West Jr., the guys we both said we should keep an eye on, but you've got Anderson, who won last week at Iowa. He's right up in this battle. Cole Raz is in there. Chris White has really impressed me with the run he's got. And what's getting me is you got guys, Lake Peterson, he won. He was your pick tonight. He's not here. He knows he's going to the round of 8 in 2 weeks at Gateway. But you've got Anderson and White. Those two drivers are raced in, but they're battling for just another win. Is that causing chaos amongst these guys that really need to win or get a good finish for points to transfer?
I mean, I think that's the reason why we're seeing, Chris White and Cole Raz battling so hard. They both, I mean, for White, he knows he's locked in. For Raz, he's not in the playoffs. So those are two drivers that really, this race doesn't mean a ton for them if you think of the playoff picture. But, still looking at, Dan West Jr., he is putting everything into this race. He wants it. You could kind of sense he wanted to win this race in the spring, fell short to Lake Peterson. He wants it bad here tonight. But I got to say, that whole entire colors that we're seeing on our ticker, that is that picture. Cannot wait to see it continue to grow, because these caution laps, it's been the trend for the Cup Series all playoffs long. There's been a lot of wrecks, but it's the late cautions that can change everything here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say that, my friend. Taste the rainbow. Look at all that down there, because that is just amazing what type of entertainment we're going to see with drivers that are in red and orange and blue, and guys that are even in black that are trying to just win races. And they're right up there battling, like Cole Raz, like Audenbacher, doing really good, staying in the top 5. And I think it's making a mixture of a great ingredients for a great second half race here tonight at Atlanta, Samuel.
Absolutely. I'm excited how the second half's going to go. It's going to get more intense the longer it goes. And with green flag pit stops right around the corner, I think that's also going to be a big factor on what changes this race and could potentially bring out a late caution here.
And that, of course, is your Tom Denchel Automotive Group mid-race report. Back to the on-track action we go as we settle in for the final 63 laps to the checkered flag in tonight's race and in the round of 12. Who will advance to the round of 8? Ritters. Toby Ritter's off the pace in 23. Clifford.
I think all the different names we have put for Toby Ritters, you just tried to say at once. I think that's what happened. As a big dog Clifford, he just got done with his service, and this is kind of marking the start of drivers trying to do an extreme undercut currently. As you see, now Tyler King and Matt Gelder going to be coming into pit road, and Tyler King, he needs to do something off ball from everyone else. Undercutting and now missing his pit box might not be the best way to start things off.
Want to send a shout out to, of course, Robert Moyer Jr. and Freaky Fast. Checking out the broadcast. Hey, I'm a poet and didn't even know it. There you go. Tyler King, Matt Gelder, they're on the pit lane. Samuel, I would not say that this is late race pit stops right now. I just cannot say that.
Yeah,
this is not the money stop.
This is a little bit too far. These are the drivers that, I threw out the potential of drivers trying to do a 30 lap stint to then another 30 lap stint. These are the drivers that are thinking about doing that. So most likely going to have to make another stop for themselves. Anywhere from lap 120 to lap 130 is going to be the window for these drivers. They might have to go into extreme safe mode, but BJ Tidrick, another one of those drivers that's just coming out. So we just had 2 of our playoff drivers making this early pit stop, which is kind of concerning to me because I feel like most of the field, they're looking towards around lap 83 to lap 88, going to be their window.
Samuel, I know we didn't talk about this in the mid-race report, but Jeff Stabnow, Sean Breitzman, guys that are in the back that are pretty good contenders, their championship hopes might be coming to an end unless they can pull a rabbit out of a hat and get some type of a spectacle finish here.
Yeah, I mean, for that of Sean Breitzman, I think he would love to have a better performance than what's going on right now, but currently in 13th place. Yes, there's a couple of other drivers that pitted before the 46, but he's had to use a fast repair, been involved in a lot of wrecks. But I got to say, I think we're going to be seeing Sean Breitzman. He came into tonight's race with a 21-point lead over the rest of the drivers behind him that were at the bubble. He's got to be feeling comfortable with that bubble and the fact that we've seen a lot of drivers falling out or just having worse nights than himself.
Should be easy to watch these drivers. Should be exciting to watch these guys. The laps are ticking away. And look, understanding something might be wrong with Judd Wakefield in the 50 car.
Yeah, he was completely off the pace, and we'll see exactly what happened to him here.
Judd Wakefield, keep an eye on the 50. Did he run out of fuel? Oh, he overmissed his pit stall. That's what happened. He missed coming into the pits in the 50 car, and now he's way off the pace as he's crossed the start-finish line. And now he makes it to the pits, but he lost a lot of valuable time, Samuel, in that 50 vape hub entry.
Yeah, that's a tough moment for Judd Wakefield as the battle for the lead currently underway. Dan West Jr., he had almost a second lead over Keaton Anderson, but Anderson has chipped it away. It's less than 2/10, and now the 37 putting the pressure on and trying a higher groove. As you can see, the marks on the track, those are the different banking points. This track, progressive banking, it gets more and more higher as higher you go on the track. And I gotta say, for that of Keaton Anderson, he's certainly gonna be trying every single lane he could try. But I love the run from Dan West Jr. He's running right in the middle of that bottom to second lane, blocking just enough so that Keaton Anderson can't get a great run unless he goes all the way up to the wall.
Hey, Samuel, by the way, newsflash, my friend. This might be the last time we race on Atlanta with its original characteristics of iRacing, because if you remember, the track is having a new facelift done, more banking, shortening of the straightaways, making it not as wide as it's been in years past, decades past. And of course, when that happens, when that transition's done, obviously iRacing will come out. They'll screen laser print the track and turn around, and you'll see an update on iRacing of the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. I hope it's not 4 years.
Yeah, it's certainly the new Atlanta. It's going to be so interesting. I know a lot of the real NASCAR drivers, they love this Atlanta old surface, and the way that it really tears up the tires, you have to really focus on saving it. The new Atlanta and the way that it is sounding, it's just going to be a bullet train of drivers just flying through, and it turning into kind of a similar to Las Vegas, I feel like, where it's just going to be fast, a lot of pack driving, and drivers right on top of one another.
Dan West Jr. is leading lap 88 of 140. West, Anderson, Raz, White, Allenbacher. Your top 10 as it stands right now includes also O'Hare, Smith, Paulison, Nichols, and King. There is your best battle on the racetrack, unofficially. Tidrick and Brakesman, they battle. Kevin Smith, Stabnow, Harris, Wakefield, gaggle of cars going at it.
Oh boy, that is a heart-stopping moment. That is about 3 different cars on new tires going up against a pack of 5 on older ones, and somehow they made it all through, and they're going to go 3 wide again in front of them.
Boy, Harris just running down Stabnow. Stabnow was the car that was on the tail end of the lead lap. Now, first car lap down, I meant. And now Tyler King. 9 cars on the lead lap as we approach 50 laps to go. Stabnow's on pit road. Hail Mary, do you think, coming to the pits now with 50 remaining, Samuel? Or is this scheduled?
I think this might be a scheduled stop. This should be able to take the 24 to the ends of this race. This is right around the marker that they can make it. But for that of Jeff Stabnow, this has got to be a Hail Mary pass at this point. At the same time, I think Stabnow needs a caution. And with him coming to pit road and not being the first car lap down, this is not looking good for the 24 points-wise. He might not be able to make it into the round of 8.
What a disappointing season it has been for the Billings, Montana driver. A former winner, a former champion. He's got 1 ARCA Northwest win. He won it at Iowa. But no Cup or Truck Series events. And possibly, if he doesn't do good via virtual points, he could be eliminated for his quest for a championship for the 2nd consecutive year in a row, Samuel, in the round of 12, not advancing to the round of 8 or the championship 4.
Yeah, I'm looking at the points and where the drivers lie currently because of Ryan Bloom having such a tough start. The 25 could be being knocked out of our final 8, and it could be BJ Tidrick that could be moving into the next round.
Cole Raz out of the pit lane of the number, oh, I'm sorry, that's actually, yeah, Cole Raz is in. So is Caden Anderson in. Green flag pit stops on going after 4 cautions. Audenbacher coming in. And some more.
I like this pit
Right
stop
there
from
with one
Caden
another.
Anderson. Yeah, I
and you
really
know,
like
Samuel,
this pit
you
stop.
would expect Anderson and Raz to pit together. You know that?
Teammates gotta love the fact that they're working together, but I think the biggest advantage for Caden Anderson here is he's recognized dirty air is a major reason why he was struggling to get by that of Dan West Jr. West Jr. coming in a lap later. Caden Anderson, if he gets a good launch out of pit road, gets back up to speed, and puts down a quick first lap, he can find himself in front of the 55 under this pit stop.
Speaking of Dan West Jr., he's in. Chris White right behind him. And now Stephen O'Hare is the new leader. West off the pit lane. White has not left yet. Now the jack's down. He's down and away. Remember, they got to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. There's the blend line. Remember the blend line. Watch the 55 cars. He works his way around turns 1 and 2. He'll work his way up to the blend line off of the back straightaway. There's that blue cone. Once he passes that blue cone, then he can pull back up onto the racing groove. If he doesn't follow the blend line, Samuel, he has suffered a penalty, or he can suffer a penalty.
Yeah, and Kate Anderson, you saw the green spoiler. That was the 37 making the pass past Dan West Jr. under pit road. That is a massive pass for the 37, who recognized he needed to make the early pit stop to make the pass under pit road and force the 55 to make the pass on the racetrack and see if he can beat out the dirty air. Dan West Jr. has got a lot of hard work to try to get back by Kate Anderson, and lap traffic, I mean, I shouldn't say lap traffic, but it's traffic in general. Might be an issue and might help Dan West Jr.
Dan West Jr. inside, 3 wide, Tendrick in the middle. Anderson outside, pieces of bread in the meat is going to be Tendrick in 72. He'll fall back, and now they're doing the same thing to Tyler King in 21.
Oh, somehow holding on. And Dan West Jr., that is a power move. Getting by Kennedy Anderson, even though he lost the time, BJ Tendrick helped so much to slow down the 37. And West Jr. making the pass, and all that advantage Kennedy Anderson had, it's out the window. He's got to make the hard work. And right now, I think for Kennedy Anderson, he's just letting the 55 go for now, and he'll try to rally back in those final 25 laps.
And here's the thing, we know that the interval is almost 20 seconds back to the leader of Stephen O'Hare, but the 41 will be coming to the pits very soon. And when he does, as we see Raz, Tendrick, King, Nichols battle, and this is for position, might I add, except for the lap car of Nichols in 21st, 2 laps down. Inside, here he comes, Tendrick outside, Nichols lap cars to the inside, and Tendrick will stay out of harm's way. He's going to go right there with also Tyler King. Tyler King is 6th, Tendrick is 5th. Samuel, this is the first time we've mentioned those drivers' names in the top 10 here as we approach lap 100 next time by.
Yeah, and this is massive for BJ Tendrick and Tyler King. Both drivers that pitted back on lap 78 for that of BJ Tendrick and 77 for Tyler King. These drivers, they are too far out. They're about 10, 15 laps shy from making it to the end. They're going to be losing a lot of ground, most likely going to have to come back into pit road in the next 10 to 15 laps is the 72 as well as the 21. And right now for Tyler King, he needs to find a way to be over 11 positions over that of BJ Tendrick, and also make sure that he's 16 positions over Ryan Bloom. It's possible to be more than 16 over Ryan Bloom, but it's not looking great for Tyler King to move on to the next round.
100 laps complete, 40 laps to go. Brace yourself for a shootout. And it is time for drivers to hit that go button, Samuel. If they're wanting to go to the next round of the playoffs, you better make your move. You better do it, or you're not going to Vegas to race for a championship. It's going to end in Atlanta.
I mean, think of Ryan Bloom. He came in 8th in points. He was that bubble driver. All he needed to do was make sure he was ahead of Jeff Stabnow and BJ Tendrick, as well as Tyler King. Contact between himself and another playoff driver, Sean Bridesman, and put the 25 over a lap,
Here
over
comes
2
O'Hare.
laps down. And now the question is for Ryan Bloom, his playoff chances of going into the top 8 are snuffed out by a simple mistake of running into the 46.
Here comes O'Hare. It will shuffle back around to Weston Anderson and Raz the top 3. And O'Hare overshot his pit stall. Had to back up. He lost about a half a second or more. And there's West. And there's Anderson. And cat and mouse back underway with under 40 laps to go, Samuel, as they work off turn number 4.
And right now, I mean, for Kane Anderson, it is all about being patient and let the race come to you. You let Dan West Jr. get aggressive, pull away. You got to make sure that at some point, watch the telemetry. Whenever you feel like you're finally running equal or faster by letting off and saving your tires than Dan West Jr., that's when you got to start getting aggressive. As Stephen O'Hare getting back out on course, fresher tires, he's going to pull away from our leader, which might help Dan West Jr. just a tad bit on the straightaways, getting that draft help. And in the corners, that's when we're going to be seeing the 41 just pulling away from our front two.
Off of turn number 2, back straight away. There's O'Hare back on track. He is all the way back, 30 seconds in 12th. West and Anderson right there with each other, 1 and 2. Back across the scoring loop, and the laps are winding down here at Atlanta. Riding on board now with Caden Anderson as one smoking up into the wall in front of 37. Was that the leader? No, that was the car in front of the leader. That was that car right there being passed of Russ Lundberg.
Oh, no.
Raz
Cole
goes
Raz.
around, trouble. Raz, second place car, third place car. Cole Raz goes around in 10. Caution is out.
Oh, and this changes everything.
Everything. Wow.
Oh, man. Raz is trying to get by the 8 and contact into the wall, and that's a frustrating moment. When you're a lead lap driver, you're racing a guy that's a lap down and hoping just to get by and carry moving forward, not able to, and uh-oh. Well, that doesn't look right. Well, that looks exactly like the caution that came out of Kentucky that got Kate Anderson suspended. That looks like a on-purpose caution that was thrown there, Wesley.
Let's show this again. The number 30. Oh man.
Oh, pit stops. Dan West Jr. did not come in, but Caden Anderson did.
Wow. Chris White did. Man, I would so love to see this again. And
this race is going to have speculation
wow.
and a lot of admin talk about this one.
Raz is on the pit lane now in the number 10 car. Let's watch this one more time. And again, teammate to Cole Raz, Caden Anderson, got penalized and suspended for something similar to this.
Here we go. Here it is.
Oh, well.
It's going to be after the contact initially. This is what the initial contact was. This didn't bring out a caution. This
is Nichols on the inside. Yeah, this is Nichols in the 8 car. Boy, it looked like Raz came down on
there
him.
Was contact.
Nichols wasn't backing off. And then he got in the,
no.
Wow.
Yeah, and that initial spin that we just noticed, that did not bring out the yellow. This was just a wreck that happened. And you see Cole Raz getting straight, he's slow, and then once he gets on the racing surface, he just decides to do donuts.
Okay.
That was a purposely thrown caution.
So basically, here's the deal. The initial accident was not an intentional caution, but when the caution was not thrown and the 10 continued to do donuts on the bottom of the apron of the bottom of the racetrack, if you will, that was intentional. That's what the caution and what we think the penalty could be coming for.
Oh, absolutely.
My goodness. Wow. Well, he's just racing for wins. He's not in the championship hunt, but boy, did that just shake things up a bit. 30 laps to go here at Atlanta. Final commercial break, and we will take you to the checkered flag on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. And for those that are listening on the voice of live sim racing, to the Community Radio Network from Atlanta.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the Community Radio Network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Green flag just back out here in Atlanta, ready with under 30 laps to go. It is shootout time, but it has shuffled up the field after that caution with Cole Raz, with West, O'Hare, Anderson, Kevin Smith. And remember, Samuel, remember, Bud, Dan West Jr. did not pit. They did. O'Hare looking for the lead on the inside into turn number 1 and 2.
And O'Hare just came in back on lap 102, but it's Caden Henderson that's going to have the freshest of tires pulling away. And deja vu of Kentucky, of where instead of Raz that spun around during today's race, it was Caden Anderson that gave Raz the win at Kentucky. Now side by side for the lead. O'Hare not giving up.
Not giving up, not backing down, and let the best man win. Anderson now. O'Hare. O'Hare won Talladega to advance into the round of 12, to advance to the playoffs. Hail Mary on the final race, and he did just that. Anderson right behind him, 1 and 2. White to third inside. Here they come back to the line. Closing in on 25 laps to go.
Oh, and Chris White just put down the fastest lap of the day, a 31.24 second lap, and that is about a tenth faster than any other driver. Chris White, he's been one of the fastest on the short runs in those first 15 laps. 83 is coming with a head of steam.
Anderson to the lead. He wins. He's going to be a winner of 2 in a row. And what a surmountable story of fighting the odds. Remember, we mentioned him getting suspended. He missed the first race of the playoffs.
Whoa.
O'Hare overshot turn 2, below the apron, back on track in 3. No harm, no foul, and he'll still stay in third.
Onbacher, caution will wave.
Caution. Caution for Onbacher, spinning in 3 and 4. Samuel, I will say this. If you're Dan West Jr., you better go to the pits and get some new tires.
Oh, yeah, and this changes a lot of things because for Caden Anderson, he's already used his final set. You're going to see here Tyler King, Ottenbacher close. King into the wall. He comes back down.
King in the...
89, nowhere to go.
Man.
Oh,
wow.
What a squeeze.
Wakefield and Harris getting by. Look at that.
How did Wakefield knock him down? If he might have gotten minimal damage, but I don't know how he did not absolutely clobber Ottenbacher worse.
They're at speed. The calamity's going on in front of him. You're on board with the vape pump entry of the one-arm wonder of Judd Wakefield. Watch this. He sees it. He goes high. Oh, he missed him. It missed
he got a little
Harris
bit.
as well. Wow.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that left side damage, but oh man, it could have been so much worse. If Harris wasn't there, Wakefield would have gotten clear, but Frank Harris was just gunning it through there, did not give a care.
My
as multiple
goodness.
drivers in a pit road.
Stabnow's in. Stabnow's in. Smith is in. O'Hare is in. Raz is in. Obviously, Dan West Jr. is in. Caden Anderson might have about 4 or 5 laps used up tires than the new drivers getting tires, but this also puts them in the back, if you will, Samuel, when they come back for the restart, except for the cars that are a lap down or more. Wave around is optional for drivers that are at least a lap down to get one of their laps back.
Yeah, the drivers. This has certainly changed things up. On that last restart, Caden Anderson was back around 5th or 6th position when he got the restart, and it only took him 2 laps to get up front and into the lead. Now Dan West Jr., Stephen O'Hare, they're going to be back in 6th and 7th with Cole Raz, who, I mean, from our point of view, brought out that caution when we were under a long green flag run, purposely spun to bring out a yellow. And it certainly has changed a lot of things. Jeff Stabnow back on the lead lap. He has a chance to somehow, if he can get in front of BJ Tidrick and be 4 positions ahead of the 72, he could be the driver that can sneak in and take that 8th spot to move on to the next round, as well as Sean Bryson back on the lead lap.
So a lot of stories here that are yet to be written out in their chapters. And, of course, the one we're all going to keep an eye on is that number 10 of Cole Raz. What will come from that? Not from the incident initially where Nichols and him got in the wall, but where the caution was not thrown, and then he purposely, there's no other word for it, did donuts in the middle of the bottom of the backstretch to have a yellow flag thrown.
Yeah, it was the most blatant thing you could have done. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could try to hide up bringing out a caution on purpose, but that was the most blatant thing that you could see. And as a team, that is pretty harsh, because we've seen Caden Anderson do a very similar thing now 2 times this year that got him the suspension, and now Cole Raz, same team, doing it again. That team as a whole, there's going to be some harsh penalties most likely given out.
But Samuel, what can you do to get a driver's attention that's not even racing for a championship?
I mean, that's the thing. It's all about racing for, having integrity when you're out there on track, and recognizing, hey, something happened, it stinks, you got taken out when you felt like you shouldn't have, but have the racing integrity to be out there and take the bumps and move on to the next week, or bank on another caution coming out later. But that certainly is not the way we want to be seeing a yellow come out, but it certainly has now changed the landscape of things. It's given Jeff Stabnow another second chance at coming back, which Stabnow, you got to think back of last week at Iowa. He was caught early with incidences and came back to have a top 3 run for Jeff Stabnow. He might be able to pull out another rabbit out of his hat.
There will be 21 laps to go when they come back to the green flag. Caden Anderson, Chris White front row, BJ Tidrick, Toby Ritter's row 2. Russ Lundberg, Matt Gelder and Stephen O'Hare. And green flag back out. Don't count out also Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith, and Stephen Paulison. Green flag back out with 20 laps to go next time by, and there are 3 wide. Look out, O'Hare, down below the yellow line out of turn 2.
Oh boy, they're keeping it racy, and here we go. All the drivers that just got fresh tires, they're going to be attacking for sure.
20 laps to go. And a wild 20 laps at that, about to brew here at Hot Atlanta. Anderson, Tidrick, Ritters, White, and Raz, top 5. And there you see the storm brewing with many cars in that pack. Look at Ritters to second, Samuel. Ritters to second in 23. Trouble, they're wrecking in the back. Ryan Bloom involved. Frank Harris involved. Caution is out.
Oh, Ryan Bloom, he was just trying to be the first car on the first car one lap down to get the Lucky Duck spot, and once again, right around the buffer and involved in a wreck, and he has no more fast repairs. His chances of moving on to the next round, they are snuffed now.
Nichols got in front of Bloom and got into Harris. Harris was able to continue along, but caution is thrown. Samuel, do you pit or do you let your place be where it's at? This is the way it's going to settle.
I don't think anyone else has tires to take. I'm pretty sure everyone has used their sets. They're stuck where they're at. And they put their chips in. Now they just got to trust on where the ball lies at the end of the day. There is not much you can do except for cross your fingers and hope for the best. But right now, Cole Raz, he's up to 5th. Best of the drivers with the freshest of tires. But Toby Ritter's up to 2nd. Wesley, Toby Ritter's looking for a top 5 finish.
Man, Toby Ritter's just one of those guys that is just up and coming, and they have struggled. They've got caught up in accidents. They've had engine problems. Just things not go their way. Could tonight be the night for the big dog? And Clifford in 23. His best finish of the season right now. He's in 2nd. Could he get that win? He sits in number 2. Anderson. Here's something to think about, Samuel. Caden Anderson, even though he did not come to the pits the last caution, nor this caution, because it looks like everybody's playing possum, nobody's pitting. He is not per se using up his tires because he's only had a couple of green flag runs and then they go right back to yellow flag. So that's kind of an advantage for him.
Yeah, and when Caden Anderson, on that yellow, when he got the freshest tires that he had, when he was able to attack, he had over 12 laps of fresher tires. Everyone else now, they're only just about 3 or 4 laps of green flag racing difference between one another. Driver that just came into pit road all the way back in 13, Sean Bridesman, looks like he might have gotten some service done for himself. The question is, does the 46, he just got fresh tires, does he have enough to cut his way through the field to possibly make the pass for the lead? Or will it be someone that's already in the top 10 that's going to go for a win?
Under the yellow flag, 17 laps to go. And remember, if need be, we do have 3 attempts of overtime. Green, white checker if need be. Don't want to use it, but that is another ace in the hole, if you will. And Samuel, you mentioned Jeff Stabnow right back in the hunt of things in 11th.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow, he's got a lot of work, though. He's got to hope that BJ Tidrick starts to fall off, as well as hoping some other drivers have some issues, as well as Jeff Stabnow needs to move up and gain a lot of spots. It is still a lot of work for Jeff Stabnow to get into where he needs to be to battle for a championship.
Such a great race we have seen. It's not over yet. Shootout time is a possibility of overtime. And of course, all these drivers wanting to get not just a win. Look at Toby Ritters, for instance. He's not in the playoffs, but Samuel, he wants a win. He wants to be a winner of the Northwest iRacing Series, whether it's Cup or Truck.
Yeah, I mean, Toby Ritter's looking for his first win of the season and looking to get a win here in the Cup cars. It would be amazing for this 23 team to do so. And at the same time, he's looking for his second top 5 of the season. and just trying to get one of his best finishes of the year is Toby Ritters right now, and the big dog's doing it. Clifford's looking quick up front. We'll see if he can try to make the pass, though, on Kane Anderson, or if his goal is just to hold off the rest of the field.
Field will come back for the restart, this time by, it will be 15 laps to go. Lap 126 of 140. When they come back to the firebox and we get this race back to commencement. Here they come. Here come the Warlords, ready to battle. Green flag out in Atlanta. Chris White up under Ritters. Ritters on the outside. Anderson with a bunt and a push from Tedrick. Raz back there. White's right there. West is there. Here we go again. Anderson to the point off 2.
Oh boy, it's getting frisky. BJ Tedrick, he cannot get into a wreck. The 72 needs to just stay up front, be ahead of Jeff Stab now, and they'll move on to the round of 8. But there is a lot of fireworks behind the 72 and the 23.
Samuel, do you back off and just finish to advance to the round of 8 in the playoffs, or do you try to go after the win as they're about to stick it 3 wide with Cole Raz in that battle? Already controversy on the 10. He's now got Tedrick sideways.
Oh, he's on his back
turn number 2.
Oh, I don't know. There's nowhere really for BJ to go. He's got to just stay where he's at. If he tries to go high, there's a bunch of drivers there that are going to make the pass, but Dan West Jr., he's now going to try to make the pass for 3rd.
Tedrick with Raz all up under him. West with White on his inside. And this is up to 3rd. Dan West Jr. is coming. He's up on the top shelf where Grandma hides the cookies from Grandpa in the Angels Expressway. They're bouncing off the wall. West off the wall. He still keeps going. 13 to go. They're in turn 3.
Fastest lap that's been put down. Jeff Stab now that last time by. He's in 10th position. A lot of work. But up front, Dan West Jr., even with scrubbing the wall, he's still putting his best. But Cole Raz to the inside of White.
Dan West Jr. has put it to the whip. Keep an eye on Tedrick, by the way. Tedrick's obviously, his tires are gone away quicker than these other guys that are bypassing him, but it's all about position, Samuel, trying to stay in the points for the round of 8. Right now, he's in the top 10 and 6th, right where he needs to be. Let him race, let him battle. White on the outside, Tedrick on the bottom. O'Hare, and here comes Kevin Smith. It's 11 to go when they come to the stripe.
Dan West Jr.'s got to the inside of Toby Ritters, exactly where he needs to go, but it's Cole Raz. A lot of energy in the 10. He wants to come back and get a win.
Dan West Jr. gets around Raz, gets around Ritters. They're side by side for 3rd. New leader is still Anderson. Dan West Jr.'s coming, though. Can you say, here, kitty, kitty, kitty? He's in turn number 3. 10 laps to go when they come back to the start-finish line. Anderson and West, 1 and 2 at the line.
Toby Ritters on the back bumper of the 10, giving a slight bump. And Cole Raz holding on strong. But BJ Tedrick, he's just kind of watching his mirror. They're 3 wide behind him.
That's O'Hare. He's the meat in the sandwich, the hot dog between the bun as they battle into that corner. Inside, Brightsman there. O'Hare on the top side, Smith on the outside. Here comes also Jeff Stab now, sneaking into the top 10. Smith off the wall. He's in the wall, the 0-0. 9 to go. They're back at it again in turn number 2, and we got a caution.
Oh, no!
Smith's in trouble. He plows into Troy Daggett. Cars are wrecking, and the caution is no caution out yet. No caution. Wow.
Troy's got to start moving out of the way. The leaders are coming with a head of steam, and the battle for the lead, it's on, as well as BJ Tedrick. He's got to be careful. He's got to hold off Jeff Stab now.
Cars crashing there, no yellow flag. They keep it going with Anderson, West, and Ritters now falling back to 4th as Raz goes to 3rd. 8 laps to go. They're single file and pulling away from Ritters off the back straightaway as West gets in the wall again.
You could just tell how much Dan West Jr. wants this.
My, oh my. West is just bouncing off the wall like a rag doll, inside and outside, using up every inch of his race car. But still, Samuel Dyer stays right in the whip and the hunt of things, closing in, reeling him again one more time on P2 for the machine of Raz, down the back straightaway with 7 to go.
Jeff Stabnow has made the pass on BJ Tidrick. Now the goal for Stabnow, he needs to be 2 positions ahead of the 72, and he'll be taking that 8th spot and moving on to the next round.
Look at Jeff Stabnow getting around Ritters for 6th. Every advancement in the points helps him race for the race in the round of 8 to stay in the championship hunt. Anderson, Raz, West, Brightsman, O'Hare, 6 laps to go. Back straightaway, here they come.
Now the hardest part for Jeff Stabnow. Can he get and hope that Toby Ritters holds up that of BJ? That's going to be the toughest task. Can the 23 hold him off? And also Stabnow needs to catch up to O'Hare.
There's an open hand from your flagman. That's showing 5 laps to go remaining in this contest of the Tom Denchel 200. It's Anderson out in front. Raz is in second. His teammate, Brightsman, now up to 3rd. Wrecked, beaten, battered, banged, and bruised early. Now he's in the dogfight. The ARCA Friday night winner, now looking for second on Raz in turn 3.
Sean Brightsman has the freshest tires. He got the tires a little while ago, but Cole Raz, who intentionally brought out a caution, now holding off Sean Brightsman for second.
Cross the line, 4 laps to go. Brightsman on driver left. Raz on the outside. Dan West Jr. up on the outside lane. Inside lane is also Stephen O'Hare. Those cars battle. The leader pulls away. Field goodbye. Back straightaway. Raz it all as they go to turn 3.
Still, you got to give credit to Cole Raz right now. He is holding off, but just Stabnow might just have to door bang him, and he does. Puts him up into the wall.
Raz just got a little razzle-dazzle from the 55 of Dan West Jr., like parting the Red Seas in the Bible, if you will. Sean Brightsman says, excuse me, coming through. Dan West Jr. licks his chops, says, I'll take the gift, and so does Stephen O'Hare. 3 to go to the back straightaway. O'Hare now losing ground as here comes Raz battling back on the outside in 3.
How much did that contact hurt the 46? He's got the fresher tires. He's going to be trying everything in his power to catch up. But 2 laps to go, Wesley. There might not be enough time.
2 remaining for Caden Anderson. And now a lot of cloud cover, by the way, settling in over Atlanta Motor Speedway virtually. The Yakima, Washington native, winner last week at Iowa. After a suspension, he had to win to go to the playoffs. He's in the round of 8. He's just trying to sweep another week of racing. He's coming to the line with 2 to go.
I think for right now, Sean Brightsman, he can get to the 37, but I don't know if he can make the pass in time. We'll come to 1 to go.
CRN, 1 to go, white flag in the air. It's Anderson, it's Brightsman. Brightsman closing in, down into turn 1 for the final time in Atlanta.
Last lap, Sean Brightsman was 3/10 faster than Caden Anderson. He's going to have to do the same exact lap if he wants a shot at the 37 on the backstretch. He's got the draft going into turn 3 and 4.
West out of it, Raz out of it, O'Hare out of it. The battles between these 2 cars, mano a mano. Sean Brightsman reeling him in like bait on a hook. He's to the inside, he's to the outside, he goes to the inside. Brightsman to the bottom, he can't get there. It is Caden Anderson winning by 27 thousandths of a second. Sean Brightsman, 1 more shot at him. He came up short out of turn 4. Don't knock him for trying. Beaten, battered, banged, and bruised at the beginning of this race. He was there at the end and just missed it by inches at the checkered flag. What a finish here in the Tom Denchel 200 at Atlanta.
Oh, man, and this is going to be shrouded under controversy for this race after Cole Raz's intentional wreck. But what if Sean Brightsman wasn't playing nice from the start and just doored the 10? I think he would have caught Caden Anderson a lot sooner, and we would have had a different winner. But Caden Anderson, 2 wins in a row in the Cup Series.
And the question is, how is it going to shake up the points of who was going to race for a championship in the championship round of 8 for the Northwest Cup Series? 8 drivers are going to move on. 4 are going to be eliminated. And those points are being tallied immediately as we speak. Wow.
Oh, there we go.
And now it's time for the Northwest high five salute coming at you. Tidrick, you missed him. Strike 1. Baseball postseason starts this weekend too, by the way.
Oh, I'm excited. My Giants made it in. I'm excited to watch them try to go for another World Series.
Yes, the best of the best in baseball. Here he comes. Someone's coming. Who is it? Oh, yeah. Bam!
Oh, it's a double smash.
Toby Ritters. Well, could you say, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Oh, I did.
Well, I was going to say normally you got to pay double for that kind of action, but that's just not the case. Look at this.
Oh, here they come.
Oh, wow. Tidrick.
Oh, they're just having fun
there
at this
you go.
point.
Bad form, BJ. You got to get back going again here. There you go. Celebration for Yakima, Washington's Caden Anderson upside down. They're even wrecking on the pit lane, if you will. Upside down is Caden Anderson, and here is your LSRTV unofficial results presented by sawblade.com. Caden Anderson is the winner. By the way, they've updated time and scoring 25. That's 0.025 seconds at the line. Dan West Jr. third. Cole Raz, obviously there's going to be some talk about what the 10 did, and we'll follow that up with you probably next week or in 2 weeks. Stephen O'Hare fifth. Jeff Stabnow, he's sixth. Did he do enough to advance to the playoffs in the round of 8? We'll find out. BJ Tidrick seventh. Stephen Paulison, Chris White, Toby Ritters, your top 10. What a great race here for many at Atlanta, Samuel.
Oh, absolutely. Matt Gelder going to get 11th with that of Eric Chaney in 12th. And 13th, we've got that of Gary Nichols, which Nichols had a lot of bumps and bruises with some of our playoff drivers here tonight. Tyler King, this was not the performance that 21 needed. Most likely not going to be advancing to the next round. Troy Daggett in 15th. Aaron Cooper in 16th. Judd Wakefield had a lot of explosive wrecks that the 50 was a part of. In 17th, Kevin Smith. Luckily, he's going to be questionable as well, but I think he might have just enough to make it in 18th. John Ottenbacher in 19th, and Ryan Bloom came in 8th. Our bubble driver, a 20th position finish. He is most likely going to be knocked out of the round of 8.
Well, there you go. As it's all said and done, Russ Lundberg, Frank Harris, Casey Garber, Scott Hutchinson, and James Thurston unable to take the green flag. What a wild race it was here at Atlanta. There is your unofficial race results, and I can say officially unofficial because of obviously what happened with the 10 of Cole Raz. There might be a suspension. There might be disqualifications. We do not know. And, of course, that is one of the crazy controversial moments of the race. But that does not take away the fact, Samuel, that many drivers that needed to have a good run did what they needed to do just that. And for many, they have to hope that they can punch their ticket into the playoffs. We'll determine their fate here once timing and scoring updates the point standings.
Yeah, I mean, even before the Cole Raz incident that happened, there were a lot of drivers like that of Ryan Bloom and Jeff Stabnow that kind of were out of it, and Tyler King. They all were a lap down or just struggling here tonight. That wreck and the intentional caution that came out, it gave those drivers a second chance, but I don't think it's enough. I think BJ might have done, BJ Tidrick, that is, as a 72. He was that driver that's going to take that 8th place spot. He almost lost it, but we're waiting for official word to come in. But
So the final round of 8 has been tallied and official We'll unveil that here before we go off the air, but we welcome you back to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series playoffs. It's always presented by Tom Ditchell Automotive Group. The Tom Ditchell 200 did not disappoint here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll grab a word with our top three, and we'll begin it off with the third place man of course, the driver, Dan West Jr. Dan, you are advancing into the next round, obviously. But your take of what was a crazy race here at Atlanta, I know you were trying to go for the W. Are you happy with the podium?
Oh, totally happy. Yeah, my goal was to obviously get into the top 8. So, and we did that, and we had fun. I mean, I had a blast racing with with Caden, and Cole and Chris. That was obviously we both, all of us, we had a little bit of strategy going on there, trying to save stuff. And then it was like, who could we push? Could we push each other harder to try to burn that right front up? But it was fun. I wish the caution wouldn't have come out. I'd like to see how it would have played out. But at the end of the day, I'll take that top 3.
Yeah, Dan, and when that caution came out after the long green flag run you decided not to come into pit road for that first initial take. What was going through your mind making that decision of not coming in?
Oh, I just felt like I didn't want to be that guy that that took tires and didn't have any. I feel like that Caden's made some good choices this year, and Caden and Cole both, and so I thought, you know what, I'll try that strategy. And I felt like, if I don't win, I'm still good, right? I'm still good to get into the playoffs. So I thought I could go ahead and just take that strategy and be okay on points. I asked Sean, how many cars were on the lead lap, and he gave me some decent feedback to where it felt like I could make that strategy call.
Dan, what was it like racing amongst all these guys that are not, they're not in the playoffs, but they're looking for a win? I think of Ritters, I think of Raz, and you're trying to advance to the next round, racing for a championship, and then you got guys that are on the cusp of trying to get in. What's the race like tonight, trying to go through that?
Well, I think at the end of the day, we're all here just to have fun, right? So whether you're in the playoffs or you're not, I mean, we're showing up here on a Monday night and we're trying to put on a show. And I think that we welcome guys that still aren't in the playoffs. I mean, it's like a Cole Raz. It's going to be up there and run in the top 3. So at the end of the day, we're here. We're fortunate to have these sims. We're fortunate to have this series. We're fortunate to have these people and friends to come out and put on this show. So it's awesome. I welcome it. I mean, you got guys like Cole and Caden and Chris that were up there tonight that were very competitive, and that's what makes it fun. I mean, you're trying to points race to get in that top 8, but at the end of the day, even if you don't get in the playoffs, you're here to have fun and race.
All right, buddy, before we let you go, thank your sponsors. Enjoy the week off, getting ready for Gateway coming up here in a few weeks.
Thank you. Effective Web Solutions, Tom Ditchell Auto Group. You guys, LSRTV, obviously, as everybody says, you are definitely the best out there. Northwest Racing Series, all the guys that put on the show and behind the scenes that work really hard that people don't even realize. So thank you all very much.
Well, there's Dan West Jr., and we will see his fate in the round of 8 where he goes for the next round. We'll let you know here once we wrap up interviews. He's third on the podium here tonight. Sean Breitzman, originally from Puyallup, Washington, now from the land of Cactus, Tucson, Arizona. The 46 machine will finish in the number 2 spot. Sean, you had some problems in the get-go, got caught up in an accident, had to fight your way back. Second, right there trying to battle for the win. Your take of Atlanta, and suffice to say, you definitely are trying to defend that race championship crown from last year too.
Yeah, it was a it was a day or a night here at Atlanta. That was a tough battle there. Racing there with Ryan Bloom, we got into it. I thought he knew I was there. I don't think he did, or he thought he got the clear call, and we just he just turned him into the wall there and got collected, and then got everything fixed up, and then just stalled the car coming out of pit road, and unfortunately went down a lap and had to wait for all that, but ended up working out towards the end. Just happy this Bright's Boutique Toyota Camry could battle Caden there for the win. That was a lot of fun. Had to get around Cole there. Cole was was working me over pretty good. I know I doored him a few times, just because I know he was pinching me too. So I was trying not to run the exact bottom, so he couldn't get too much of a run. But what a fun race!
Yeah, Sean, I mean, tonight it seemed like you were waiting on the last minute for almost everything you were doing, waiting for the last minute to use your fast repair and waiting for the last minute to use your final set of tires. How was it trying to come back from that early incident for yourself?
It was just methodical. Is what I'd consider it. I knew I was a lap down. I ran. I just tried to stay in that lucky dog position. Unfortunately, that caution where Judd spun. Aaron slowed up for it. I didn't slow up enough for Aaron slowing up for it. So I ended my potential for a lucky dog right there and just had to wait further. And with all the other strategies that went on, it just led to just trying to be patient, stay clean, and avoid any wrecks that were happening.
Sean, we're going to unveil here who's in the round of 8. If you are one of those drivers that advance, what do you think the next round is going to be like to see who will go to the championship for Vegas?
I look forward to the next round. I hope I advance. I'm looking forward to racing at Worldwide Technology Raceway, New Hampshire. I love, Chicago and Homestead, all fun tracks. So Worldwide will be the first time for the Northwest Racing Series, I believe. We finally got it on there, so it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Knowing Caden's in the playoffs there, I look at the two short tracks and kind of circle that as a major battle with Caden. So,
all right, buddy. As always, thank your sponsors.
I got to thanks Bright's Boutique. Check us out on Etsy. Custom jewelry, custom orders. LSRTV for everything you guys do. TomDenshaw.com. Central Welding Supply, blenders, and everybody here at the Northwest Racing Series. Thank you, guys.
Well, that's Sean Brightsman. He will finish in the number 2 position. Runner-up, boy, he gave it one awesome fight to try to run down Caden Anderson and just came up 25 thousandths of a second shy at the checkered flag. To victory lane we go. Okay, so here's the story. He got penalized back before the playoffs. He missed a week of suspension at the Indy Road Course. He had to win one of the races to advance in to the round of 8. So we do know Lake Peterson, and of course, this driver has done just that. And now we talk to this driver again. It's for 2 weeks in a row from Iowa to Atlanta. 2 different worlds of racing surfaces. He gets it done. But what a battle it was from Yakima, Washington. Caden Anderson, congratulations to you, buddy. Suffice to say, the bullseye is on you going into the round of 8 after a week break at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's looking at me to be probably one of the favorites to win here, if not Sean and Dan. These 2 guys have put a big fight up this whole season, so we've overcome a lot of penalties and a lot of perseverance, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, Caden, talking about tonight, I mean, you had to come back from a lot of different things. You were always up front. I'm going to take you back to that green flag pit stop, and you pitted before Dan, and then coming out of pit road, you were ahead of the 55, then lap traffic in front of you. How was it trying to get by that lap traffic for yourself?
Yeah, this track's really tough. It feels like these cars get really tight behind lap traffic, and I got out in front of Dan, which was really cool, and we're hoping to run away. But then lap traffic was on the bottom and the top, and it was kind of hard deciding where to go, and we kind of lost that position. But I think we made up there with pit strategy and pitting early and taking our last set and being out front with track position.
Caden, what does it mean to not only have to go over the adversity and winning that race last week at Iowa, but now proving that you have earned a right to be able to be one of these drivers to battle for the championship, advancing now to the round of 8? Because if you wouldn't have done it at Iowa last week, you would have done it here tonight.
Right, I feel like me and Cole have put a lot of time into the sim, and like even tonight, I feel like he helped us out there a lot at the end. He raced Sean pretty hard, but you know, I don't come out here to finish top five. I come out here to win every race. So I'm going to do whatever I can to win that race. And that's just it.
John, before I let you thank your sponsors, can we go back to Cole? What's your take of what possibly could be him starting to bringing out a caution intentionally? What do you think the outcome will be from that, and your take on that?
For me?
Yeah, what's your take on possibly if Cole Raz intentionally brought out a yellow flag? What's your take on that situation and what happened?
I don't think he purposely. I don't know. I didn't see what happened, so I don't know. But all I know is he was trying to get back on track, and I think he's just a little slow getting up to speed. He might get penalized for it. I don't know.
All right, buddy. Well, man, no worries for you. Congratulations. Moving on to the round of 8. Before we do let you go, thank your sponsors on that 37 machine.
Yeah, I want to thank Harvest Chevrolet, Studio 10 Wraps, and then LSRTV for hosting all this.
Caden Anderson has advanced in to the round of 8, obviously by last week in Iowa, but of course by virtue again of winning here tonight, sweeping the Northwest Cup and the race here this evening at Iowa last week, but of course tonight here at Atlanta. Well, with that being said, it is time to unveil who the 8 drivers are. Samuel, if you will, I will, no, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do this in our post-race wrap-up. So we're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsor, Tom Denchel Automotive Group. And then when we come back, I'll unveil from 8 to 1 like a countdown, and then Samuel will give his analysis on each of those drivers. Plus, we'll talk about the other 4 that are eliminated here tonight at Atlanta. More coverage, and we'll wrap it up in a moment.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
And we welcome you back to coverage here on LSRTV from, of course, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I need to bring my camera down just a little bit because I do want to give the love to LSRTV there. Thanks to the new swag from Lands End. He is, of course, Samuel Dyer. I am Wesley Outland. Samuel, how do you want to do this, brother? Do you want to mention the 4 drivers that are eliminated first and then the 8, or do you want to mention the 8 that are in and then talk about the 4 that are gone?
Oh, let's talk about the 8 that are in. Those are the drivers that probably would just want to get that out of the way.
All right.
Which I'll let you go with that, Wesley.
So this is what I'll do. I'm going to mention the 8 to number 1, each driver, and then you just give a quick analysis on why you think they should have advanced to the championship 8. The number 8 seed will now go to the driver by 1 point over the man in the number 9 seed that is eliminated, and that is number 72, Samuel. BJ Tidrick, your thoughts?
Yeah, BJ's been trying to get a lot more consistent each race, and Atlanta just fell right in his wheelhouse. He really earned it here tonight with how well he was running up front in the top 10 every single run he could be in. I think it really did show today why he needed to be in the top 8.
One of the drivers that has really improved this year has earned his rightful spot to stay in the race for the championship 8, the 00 out of Hermiston, Washington. Kevin Smith is the number 7 seed. Your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Smith, we've seen him in the ARCA series Friday nights. He has been getting better and better each week, and he has translated that over to the Cup and for the trucks Wednesday night. That speed is translated well, but he's got to really recover after last week's poor performance and today's poor performance. If that 00 wants to be in a championship run at the end of the next round, he needs to step up that consistency.
The underdog story still continues for the driver that is in the number 6 seed to make the playoffs. He had to win at Talladega. He did that, and he now survives the round of 12 to advance to the round of 8. And, of course, that's the number 6 seed, Samuel, the number 41 of Stephen O'Hare. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Stephen O'Hare, he is going to need a lot of work on the long run. We've seen the long run be prevalent for the Beaver State drivers in the truck series where it's an open setup. But for Stephen O'Hare, I think he needs a little bit more practice each week into making sure that he's got this cup setup figured out for himself, because I think he's really got a good shot to make it in the Final Four. But I feel like, yeah, he is the underdog.
The number 60 is the driver that me and you picked tonight. He come up just a couple of spots shy. A crazy race here at Atlanta. But, of course, the driver of the team has the opportunity to do that. And, of course, that is the driver out of Shelton, Washington, number 55, Dan West Jr. Your take on the driver that's also the defending Truck Series champion of last year.
Hey, it makes sense for the 55 to get fifth place in points at the end of the day, but he's got to get to fourth if he wants a shot. And I think today and also last week showed Dan West Jr., he still has the speed, but he's got to make sure that he doesn't get caught up into silly incidences early in runs. That's what's been hurting the 55. If he can just clean up small little things here or there, we know he's going to be fast and one of our 4 drivers to watch out for.
The number 4 position is the driver that is the defending Northwest iRacing Cup Series champion. He made a valiant effort tonight to try to run down Anderson for the win, and that is the driver, of course, out of Tucson, Arizona, Sean Brightsman, the 46. Your take on him advancing in the number 4 seed?
I mean, tonight showed why he's a champion. Adversity, he overcame it. He was in so much trouble. Tonight showed why Sean Brightsman is still a threat each and every race. Even when he was 2 laps down, he came back and almost won this thing.
Where has this driver been the last couple of weeks? Well, here's the reason why. He won the opening race at the Indianapolis Road Course. He was your pick to win tonight. However, he didn't show up. But that doesn't matter because he raced one playoff race. He won that race. He took the rest of the 3 weeks off. And Samuel Dyer, he advances in the number 3 seed, your 0-9 regular season champion. Your thoughts, obviously, on Lake Peterson.
Yeah, Lake Peterson, he got his 3 weeks of break. Well, he gets an extra one because we're off next week, but he's got to put a lot of work. We're going to Gateway, start out the round, got a couple of short tracks as well to watch out for. Lake Peterson, I think he might have to show up for more than just one race to make it into the Final Four, but still, I mean, Lake Peterson comes in the most winningest driver in the Cup Series. He's the biggest threat out there besides Caden Anderson right now with the 37's momentum.
And what a story for the driver that is in the number 2 seed. He had to sit out the opening race due to a penalty suspension. He had to win one of the races in the round of 12. Well, Ixnay on that, he wins 2. And he goes back-to-back at Iowa and tonight at Atlanta. Yakima, Washington, Caden Anderson from the number 12 spot 2 weeks ago, Samuel Dyer, to spot number 2 in the points. Your take on that as we get ready for the round of 8.
I think Caden Anderson in this 37 team is the biggest threat out there. He could have won the Indianapolis Oval that he came back after his suspension, but with a little bit of contact between himself and Chris White, wasn't able to do it. But this 37 team of Caden Anderson, huge threat, and we'll see what happens to his teammate that helped him out here tonight. But if I don't know but what's going to happen with that situation, but the 37, we know he's quick all by himself, and he certainly is the biggest threat to everyone else.
And finally, consistency. 2 wins earlier in the year, consistent finishes, and also a win earlier in the playoffs has put this driver in the number 1 spot. The driver for CWR Racing, Chris White, Samuel Dyer, is the number 1 seed moving into the round of 12, out into the round of 8 next. Your take on him being number 1.
You said the word, consistency. And his 2 wins that he's had, one was at a 1.5 miles, one was at the Indy Oval for this round of 12. Chris White, looking at the tracks that are lying in front of us, and the fact that the championship race is at Las Vegas, I think Chris White might be the dark horse to win all of this championship, but he has to continue with what you said, consistency to make it to our championship 4.
So again, these 8 drivers, Christopher White, Caden Anderson, Lake Peterson, Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Stephen O'Hare, Kevin Smith, and BJ Tidrick are the 8 drivers that will move in to the round of 8 beginning on not this Monday night, but the following Monday night, October the 15th, of course, or October 11th, my apologies, for the events that will be at Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceways in Gateway. Now, here's the sad news. 4 drivers were eliminated, and they include, by 1 point out, Jeff Stabnow, the number 9 seed. 2 points out, Ryan Bloom, Tyler King, Stephen Paulison, Samuel. Those drivers race for a championship come to an end. Heartbreak, especially for Jeff Stabnow. A valiant effort in what's been a crazy, disappointing year for a driver that's been one of the best in racing for championships and wins. I know he got an ARCA win earlier at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. He wants to get back on fine fashion with the Northwest, but he's going to have to wait next year for a Cup championship. Your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, for Jeff Stabnow and Ryan Bloom, I think they're both in a very similar state. Jeff Stabnow got that lucky chance when that late caution came out under a long green flag run, and that gave him the opportunity and just came up a position shy, even though he was a lap down prior to that. And for Ryan Bloom, I mean, he came in as our bubble driver, and unluckiness strikes immediately for himself. I mean, in the first 20 laps, Ryan Bloom went from, I just got to be consistent, be ahead of these certain drivers, to I really don't have a shot at all. I mean, that is probably the most heartbreaking thing. Ryan Bloom was similar to that of Kevin Smith, coming from the ARCA development on Friday nights, and you thought maybe we'd see two of them coming in, but now it's all about just getting to work. You got to go for wins at this point. You're not running for a championship. It's all about wins.
So again, Jeff Stabnow, Ryan Bloom, Tyler King, Stephen Paulison, those drivers are eliminated. Coming up after a break, we come back to racing. And by the way, my apologies, it is on October the 18th. October 11th, we are taking off for a break. We come back to racing October the 18th. Worldwide Technology Raceway, Chicagoland, October 25th, New Hampshire, November 1st, Homestead, November 8th, Samuel, another 4 weeks of racing, and then we determine the championship 4. Oh, and by the way, there will not be a night off. As soon as those drivers battle, 1 more week off, we set ourselves in for the final 5 weeks of the season for the championship of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series.
5 weeks to crown a champ, and you got to be consistent there for all those 5 weeks. For Lake Peterson, we'll see if he can show up for all 5 weeks, or he can just get the win immediately and then just cruise and just take another relaxed trip of just practicing for one track. But this postseason, I mean, what a way to end out the round of 12 for the Cup Series. Drama-filled night, but man, was it exciting until the end.
Oh, and guess what? We'll do it all over again on Wednesday night. The top 12 will become the final 8 that race in the round of 8, and we'll be right back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The trucks completely race different than the iRacing Cup cars, the tough trucks of iRacing, the Northwest Truck Series. We'll have it for you. A race, 200 miles, 140 laps on Wednesday night, 11:35 Eastern, 8:35 Pacific, on your home for sim racing, LSRTV, and the Community Radio Network. Samuel, your final thoughts, buddy, on this race, and as we take a week off, should be an exciting event coming up at another first, the Worldwide Technology Raceway of Gateway, for the Cup Series playoffs kickoff in the round of 8.
I mean, to all the drivers, give a pat on your back. That was a fun race for us in the booth to cover, and I can't wait to see more action. I'm now more jazzed than ever to continue on. I'm slightly disappointed that we're taking a week off, but it makes sense. Give the drivers a break after the way that they just raced here tonight. And man, I'm so excited for the next round, the round of 8. It's going to be a fun one.
Hey, in all seriousness, we need a break. We need to reset and recharge our batteries as well, especially after the wild race we saw here tonight at Atlanta. Samuel, always fun working with you. Hopefully Greg Rentz will come back and join us before the end of the year. As always, we thank you for watching, listening. One more look at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What a great race it was. One for the ages of iRacing. And when it's said and done, Caden Anderson picking up the win. Of course, the most important news is the top 8. Christopher White, Caden Anderson, Lake Peterson, Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Stephen O'Hare, Kevin Smith, and BJ Tendrick will advance. It's on to the Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway for round of 8 opener on October the 18th. Trucks on Wednesday. As always, follow us at livesimracing.com and wearecrn.com. On behalf of everybody at LSRTV and Rocket Media, for Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for watching, listening. Congrats to Yakima, Washington. Caden Anderson, 2 in a row. Be good to one another. Keep on praying for America.